Hello, hello. I'm going to pull back music here a little bit. Maybe it's about as loud as I like it in my ears, so hopefully it's okay for folks in the chat room. Let me know if you want the music further down a little bit more. So, happy Thursday. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. Hope you are having a good day. And my morning is just getting started. I'm on East Coast time. Welcome to Code It Live. If you are just joining us for the first time, we do a bunch of things on this channel throughout the week. We do a lot of .NET, a lot of JavaScript, some chat shows, some podcasts. But today is Thursday, which is time for our .NET Dev Show. We are working on a little bit of rebranding, so hopefully next week we can get that rebranded a little bit better. But welcome to Code It Live. Now today I am actually going to be time bound. There's a hard stop because my good friends Ed Sharpano and Lisa Nicole are doing a full week-long stream. Not a stream that goes all week long, but every day they're going like 4 hours or 5 hours on SignalR, which is real-time tech, and it's very cool. It's on ASP.NET stack, and they've had some wonderful guests the last 2 days, and I'm actually joining them today. And with the caveat that I'm not as cool as the modern web developers, but hey, I can chime in as an old man. Trying to show what it means to bring real-time to like mobile and desktop apps. So that's what I'll do at 11, so I'm going to join them. So today I have to stop right at 11, otherwise they're going to come and kick me out. But an hour is a good time. So this Thursday is like we normally deal with like .NET and a lot of Xamarin. So that's what I was going to do today. And the thing that got me a little intrigued, and I did a stream last week on Blazor mobile bindings. Maybe some of you have heard of it or played around with it. So this is what we're talking about. I come from a XAML.NET background. So to me, like Xamarin Forms is what I've always done, and it's natural, but we also have to understand that it's not for everybody, because if you come from a web background, you haven't done a lot of XAML or C# maybe, and we are trying to open the funnel, or by we I mean Microsoft, and kind of invite web folks into building native cross-platform apps. And this is where this thing fits in, the mobile Blazor bindings. Let me see. Yeah, chat room is filling up. Yeah, folks, come say hi, comment on things, so I may learn a few things, or if I know answers to something you might ask, I'll happily chime in. So I played around a little bit with Blazor bindings, and this is making native apps. But something that they did in the last couple of months is interesting. So if you look through some of the things they are doing, the Hello World apps, the to-do apps, the weather apps, those are all native apps, right? So Blazor mobile binding is sitting right on top of Xamarin Forms, so that there is no magic going on. So if I look at the Hello World app, like you write a little bit of XAML-ish code, but this is actually Blazor, and it's Razor syntax, and it's hang on, let me roll back the music a teeny bit more for my ears. There you go. So you write Blazor, the component model that maybe web folks are used to. You get to write Razor syntax, and then you write some code which you can separate out into a different file, and then it becomes a native app, because behind each of these things, like the label, the stack layouts, there's a Xamarin Forms control that is being rendered. And that's native for iOS, Android, or any other platform. So that was all going fine until they started talking about hybrid apps, right? And I'm a mixed bag on this because if you remember, like, and I'm old, so back in like the 2010, 2012 time frame, we were big into hybrid mobile apps, and this kind of started with PhoneGap, if you remember. And Apache took over, and it became Cordova. still open source, and I felt it was a legit solution towards building apps that are using web technologies like HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. You're packaging it up, you get to put them in the app stores, which is great. But the thing where hybrid apps got a little dinged on is it's not the most performant thing, because you're rendering everything inside of a giant web view or web shell. So I think, like, with the same tech, when you can build native apps, like, why would you build a hybrid app? But again, if you're building like a simple like line of business app, maybe you don't care. And if you do a decent job, your users should not notice, right? So I don't need to tell you, like, there's been a lot of debate. Here, let me do a search. Our hybrid mobile apps dead. Everything is dead, right? Yeah, we love being judgmental on things. Yeah, mobile app development after PhoneGap Cordova, and we kind of played. Hang on 1 second. So we kind of played in the hybrid space. Oh, hey, Dan Siegel, my good friend, is here. Let's see. Can I highlight messages, or is it Thursday? No, my chat highlighting thing is not working for some reason. Let me try one more time. No. Okay. Oh, chat is paused. No, it should not be. Okay. So I am not able to highlight messages today. So that's no fun. But Dan, good to see you, my man. Good to see you. COVID spreading cough. Yeah. Well, hopefully this year, there was a funny meme that I saw, like, we all hope like 2020 has been the worst for so many ways, and we all hope 2021 is going to be better, and all signs point towards a better summer. Definitely by fall, we should all be getting the vaccines or building up immunity, however you put it. But yeah, 2021 has not started very smoothly, but we can all hold on to hope. So we'll see. So good to see you. And what Dan is referring to is by throwing up, it's just there's a lot of like bad blood with hybrid apps, right? And part of it is justified, maybe part of it is not. And we used to play a lot. Like this is like going back to like 2012. You can see. Like we had a whole product called Telerik App Builder, which was particularly meant to let you write hybrid apps. Dan is saying, yeah, politics, Congress, all the fun stuff. Yeah, we have, and Dan, I saw some of the things you were saying, and you're right. I mean, our civil discourse and not being able to work with folks we don't agree with seems to have taken a nosedive. And the whole like, I don't like what you're saying, so cancel you. That's not good for anybody. So, but again, it's a mixed bag. We all have to coexist. So back to tech, back to the things we can control, because there are things we just cannot. Right? So this started out with a lot of promise, right? And everybody uses a lot of apps on their phones. So compared to like using the web as a distribution medium, I think hybrid apps at least have a way of getting it into the store. But again, the bad blood was it ended up being a little slow. And again, we are developers, we can shoot ourselves in the foot. But why is this coming back? And is there any benefit to this, right? So that's what got me intrigued, because like the Blazor team, and this is Elon, and not Elon Musk, Elon Lipton, I think is his name. This guy, he's one of the PMs, Elon, I should say. They are clearly looking into this, and the Blazor team also is excited, because what the potential is again, like all the ASP.NET devs, like all of the web.NET folks seem to be all over Blazor, right? Clearly the most exciting thing. but can we stretch that to mobile and desktop? And by desktop, this has interesting implications because Blazor likes to be a little lightweight, and the moment we think about web technologies inside desktop, we think Electron, right? Node.js. But it's a little heavy-handed, and I think that's what the Blazor guys don't like. So I think they came up with their own few shells or views that might help. I can't get my music volume just right today. Let me see. Maybe just about that. So what exactly are they doing, and is there any benefit to this? So let's take a look. So it looks like they give you a template. I might not do a whole lot today because again I have the hard stop, but let's tinker and let's see what they're doing, because I think it's actually not a true hybrid app. It is kind of a mixed bag between native and hybrid. So that's what is kind of interesting. So looks like the way you start is you get that template and you start, which I think, I've done mobile Blazor binding, so I should have it. Okay, here comes my terminal, too small for you to see, and now it's too big. Hold on. Maybe, is that big enough? Yeah, I hope so. Yeah, folks, let me know if you can't see my text in any way. All right, so let's see. I like keeping stuff in a folder. So if let me see where I'm at. Okay, yeah, so this is where all of my projects live. And if I do a .NET new, so what this is giving you is .NET CLI, and it's telling you here are the things I can do, right? A lot of things like WPF, all things ASP.NET, Blazor obviously, and I think I have it, or maybe I don't. Console, WPF, WinForms, NUnit. Really? I don't have it? Okay, alright, well then we'll go and get it. What was it called? Project templates, mobile Blazor bindings. Oh, this is a new preview, so I think they pushed out a new bit, new set of bits. Okay, so I'm gonna copy that and go ahead and install that. It's just a template, same as like doing file new project in Visual Studio, but this one is CLI and it's experimental, so I don't think they want to bake it into Visual Studio anytime soon. Okay, so I got that, and now I should, right there, experimental mobile Blazor bindings. So that's what I have always used. It's just the mobile Blazor bindings. This is what gives you a native app on top of Xamarin Forms, but this is the new kit, Blazor Hybrid, right? So what is it that it is doing? Let's go back and take a look. Okay, so .NET New, Blazor Hybrid, okay, all right, let's copy that. And let's call it Blazor Hybrid Hello World, and I got the -o, which is like output that to a directory, so that's perfect, I think. Let's go. Yes, it's done. It's done. Hang on. I didn't want to cough in your ears. See, Dan, even with like remote, I'm trying to not spread the germs. Okay, that's it, right? So we did a project, and that spit out a template, and then I think that's it. I don't need my terminal anymore. I can do a build or so, but let's see what it did. All right. If folks in the chat room, if you have played around with hybrid apps, thanks Dan, let me know what your thoughts are, if I'm doing anything wrong so far. I'm just done a template. So where is the project? Blazor Hybrid Hello World. Oh, it spit out a bunch of things. Oh wow, iOS, Android, Mac OS, Windows. Okay, which I clearly cannot run on a Mac. Okay, let's open this up. See what they're doing. So they are really just going mobile and desktop right there in the template. Okay. Could not restore packages. Okay, well, first off, let me clean up because I don't do a few things here. I don't need Windows. Go away. Delete from disk. And I could do Android, but I prefer doing iOS if I have a choice. So I'm going to wipe that out as well. Yes, go away. And I'm going to make iOS my startup project. Okay, and it's debug. Yeah, iPhone simulator. No, not iPod Touch. Let's do. Yeah, I'm still on iPhone 11. Dan, did you get an iPhone 12? Let me know how you like it. This is the first time I'm actually missing an iPhone upgrade, because like I'm on one of those cycles where I pay every month, so every year I get an upgrade. But this year, like, we have just been like too busy. We actually just moved, so I'm curious how iPhone 12 is working out. Dan is saying, I've always had a problem with how UWP projects are handled on a Mac. I mean, every diagram that you see from Microsoft clearly shows UWP as a part of .NET Core, which is supposed to be cross-platform, but it is not. So yeah, a lot of Xamarin projects used to do that as well. Like they would throw in the Windows or the UWP thing, but that doesn't run anywhere else. It's UWP is universal within Windows, right? So. Oh, Dan, you did not get the iPhone 12. Okay. Oh, you got the Pro Max. Okay, nice. I have the Max as well. Beautiful phones. But yeah, I'm still on the 11. Okay, so can I build now before I check in to see what they did? Well, let's do a project by project build. Okay. I'm asking you to build. Okay. Dependencies. Okay, restore. I don't know why the project restore fails. Okay, and packages. Fine, I'll just go and do it by hand. I'm very curious what they're doing with macOS. Restore. Okay. It's like there are so many ways of reaching the desktop now. I mean, you got buy one get a spare for free too. Is it one of the providers that's doing it? Like I know like T-Mobile or Verizon keeps doing these offers where you get one, the other one is free. So let's do a build. It was from Verizon. Cool. It's a bummer that I cannot highlight messages today. I'm not getting. Look, there's a separate app that I use to look at the chat room, and it's not showing any chat messages today. Anyways, okay. So it built. Good. iOS, can you build now? Building. Chat room, you're quiet today, other than Dan. I see you. If you're just chilling and just doing your thing, that's totally cool too. Okay, it built. Look at that. Would you expect something from a template just to build? But it did. Okay, I haven't looked at any code. Shall we just run it? Start. And iPhone simulator comes up. I don't know in the chat room if anybody else is into this. This is my jam, Coke Zero, for going sugar-free and having a little bit of pop, especially when you're streaming. I struggle when I don't have Coke Zero at hand, and I do recycle everything. Blazor Jewel, thank you for the follow. I appreciate you. Where are my? Hang on. Where are my things? Chicken dance for you. Thank you for the follow. Thank you. Okay. Okay. Oh, this is fun. It's a so this kind of looks like the basic thing. Okay, so that's a button, and that's bringing in. This looks very much like the Blazor template when you do Blazor for the web. Dull Owl is saying just water or coffee here. Yeah, me too. Me too. I try drinking a lot of water, and I have actually for the last 2 months I've gone back to black for my coffee, so I'm not just piling up on sugar or anything else while I'm drinking it. And here's my water bottle. Since I cannot fly since like last March, so I'm using like a United water bottle. Where is it? Yeah, there you go. Just to kind of remind me of normal days. I was joking, like the other day I went to the grocery store and I had no need, but I got myself like a little hair gel and a razor just to feel a little normal. I've been stuck at home for like almost a year now. Yeah. What can we do? Well, as long as we are being healthy, that's the big thing that matters right now, right? Okay. All right, so this looks very much like the Blazor template and counter. Oh, they got a count. Oh, okay, so they're actually doing a thing where the counter is shared. So I'm curious how they're doing it. So, okay, so it goes up. All right, it's the same counter. So it's, I'm sure, the same component, and then they have fetch. Okay, this works. I'm glad it works out of the box. Now, what about Mac? Does that work? So what I was saying with desktop, now there are like so many ways of reaching out. Like Xamarin Forms has renderers for macOS, right? And you can obviously do Xamarin.Mac, but then you're kind of doing storyboards and stuff like that. And then with what's the name of the Apple thing? Apple is getting more and more iOS apps to run on the desktop. Catalyst, yeah. So there are multiple, and in all of those iOS apps can be written with Xamarin Forms. So there are multiple ways of reaching the macOS desktop now. Since Dan is saying, since there are no conferences, I just went to Cancun for Thanksgiving. Nice. Good for you. I got, with a family and a small kid, we got to be a little bit more careful. So yeah, I wish we could go, but all we are doing is kind of little road trips here and there. TimeBinders 360 is saying, what is the minimum spec required to run VS 2019 for Mac and SQL developer, etc.? Oh, okay. Well, you don't have SQL Server on a Mac. There are some options. Minimum specs for VS 2019, it's not much. I mean, they will run on just about older hardware as well, but I don't know offhand. TimeBinder, like check the Visual Studio download sites, and I'm sure they might have some documentation. You definitely don't need like too much horsepower to run Visual Studio 2019 for Mac. I mean, it's starting to get a little bloated, but it's nowhere close to Visual Studio on Windows, so you should be fine. Okay, so I did a Mac, and it's still showing me the debug, but does it run here on a Mac? Let's see. Just thinking, why is it building on the iPhone? Maybe the configuration is not right. Oh no, it did. Ah, look at that. This is nice. So now this becomes a desktop Mac application. You got it on the dock here. And oh, it's the same app. So this one shows up as a button. This is interesting. This is very interesting. And this is probably the same like survey component that they throw in, I'm sure. And the fetching data. Okay, so the same code, just like what we expect from Xamarin Forms, is working on mobile and desktop. But this is not purely Xamarin Forms play. And Dan Siegel is responding, for SQL, you need Docker, and then you can install SQL Developer Docker image on your Mac. Yes. Hang on, there was a thing that I used to use Mac. Yeah, that's the Docker thing that he's talking about. There was a thing that was close to SQL Server on a Mac. Because, like Mac kits are supposed to be cool. Like, who does relational databases anymore? It's all document DBs, but the reality is relation databases are still rather popular and run a lot of businesses. dbeaver, I don't think I've used that. So yeah, look around a little bit more. TimeBinder, there are a few alternatives to SQL Server, but it's nowhere as like powerful or feature rich as SQL Server. What is this running on? Framework? No, it's running on. Okay, this is a loaded question, Dalal. It is meant to run on dotNET Core, but you're slowly starting to see, eventually this year, you're going to start seeing what the Xamarin team has been doing. Because if you look at what they did with dotNET 5, right, they are taking the best of dotNET Core and Mono and trying to put it together. And they did that for Blazor in some ways, but the Xamarin team is slowly making that switch. So the runtime is going to be still Mono. If you're doing Xamarin Forms on a Mac, but it's going to evolve a little bit more into once like .NET 6 comes along. So then it won't be .NET Core versus Mono, it's just going to be .NET 6. Okay, so where do we leave off? Okay, so did I stop that? Yeah, I stopped that. Okay. So this is nice. And yeah, Dala, let me know if I answered that right. What did you mean by what framework it's running on? So let's actually dig in and take a look at what's going on. So they clearly have, can I zoom in? Yeah, I can. So they clearly have this one here. I don't know if it's a .NET Standard project, like for Xamarin Forms it is. I think it should be. So NuGet, let's take a look. So JSON, of course, Xamarin Essentials, Xamarin Forms. So they do have Xamarin Forms. It's not pure hybrid. That's what I was trying to see. Like in some of the talks, like they were talking about mixing it, which I don't know why you would have to mix and match, but let's see. And they have mobile Blazor bindings, obviously, that gives you the wrappers to work with on top of Xamarin Forms. What time is it? 10:27. Okay. So that's where it's running, and okay, so it is a .NET Standard library. Good. Okay, so let's take a look at some code here. iOS app delegate. What is it that they're doing? Look at that. Xamarin Forms init. That's what we always do for iOS. So this is not a hybrid project. Why are they calling it hybrid? Or maybe some parts of it is, because like I think the template that we saw that Blazor sticks in for web apps, I think that part is hybrid. Okay, so this is clearly in iOS. Let's take a look at the solution here. Okay, so imports should not be a surprise. Yep, all good here. app.cs. So this is how the app starts out, and let's see. In the configure, so they're adding Blazor Hybrid. What is this? Oh, this counter state is a component apparently, and they're adding like one instance of it throughout the lifecycle of the app. Hello, Ivana. Good to see you. Hello, my good friend. Oh, Dalal, this was one.NET or Uno. So no, this is not Uno, and Uno will run on this. And this is kind of we're not there on one.NET yet. It's somewhere a mixed bag. I think they're running on Mono right now, pretty much. One.NET was a marketing thing. Dan is just brutal. He's just honest. Like, don't give me these marketing things. It is still like what .NET 5 is hoping to be, and I think they have started the work. It's not done yet. Okay, so nothing surprising here. So their main page. So this is very much Xamarin Forms, right? That's how it begins, and they're sticking in that as a main page. And they're, yeah, Ivana is like, yeah, somebody's speaking truth to the power. Content page, my application, okay. So nothing going on here. So this is the counter state, which I'm sure we'll look at. So this is the class that they're using to provide you with that counter, and I think that's what they're sharing. Okay, let's close these things. Nothing going on here. Then they have a main razor. This is not the main page. Is it? Hello world. Oh, it is the main page. Oh, this is interesting. what is this? This is kind of a mixed bag. Like this part is Xamarin. Like this is what we expect from Blazor mobile bindings, but then they have a web view. Why? Because like couldn't they not have done this? Like it's a mix between native and hybrid. So the hello world and the increment comes from this part, which is purely native play, right? This label is native, this button is going to be native, and then they're using a Blazor web view. Is this the new web view that like Steve Sanderson maybe was talking about? Because this is like the Edge web view, and I think they're trying to make it as lightweight as possible. Oh, Ivana, emotes. Yeah, emotes are flying around. Yeah. No, you don't need to be sorry. Yeah. Hey, I'm on OBS. I love OBS. I know a lot of like cool kids have moved away. It's just too much configuration, but when I'm by myself, it keeps me entertained. The failures keep me entertained, right? Yeah. Okay. So this is interesting. So they're sticking this in, and then they're saying hybrid Hello World web app. OBS is fun, yes, if you know what you're doing, and it takes a lot of time to learn what you're doing. Hence the steep learning curve, and hence some people are a little hesitant because all of the it gives you a lot of power, but like with great power comes responsibilities, right? And I fail like every day, so I learn. Dan Siegel, yes, there you go. There are your emotes. Is that a combined emote? Look at that, it's like flying together. Interesting. Prism is Dan Siegel and Brian, yeah, but Dan puts in a tremendous amount of work, so thank you for what you do. All right, so I'm confused, like why they had to do this, because Prism plus Shiny, interesting. Okay, so that's what they're doing. It's weird. It's like native and hybrid combined. So then they have this thing called Web UI, which has its own imports razor, because I suppose like every component can have its own imports razor. And this is where they're bringing on all of the ASP.NET or of the Blazor stuff. Okay, and then they have App Razor. I don't know, route data. I don't think they're using it. Shared. And then they have pages. Wait, I'm confused here. Oh, so this pages thing is the index razor. Okay. Oh, I see. So yeah, see, somehow they're calling this whole thing Web UI, and this hello world. Let's run it again, because this is interesting. Where did my app go? This one here. So I think they're doing like this part, this top part is native and it's got that button, and this bottom part is all the hybrid stuff. So if you want it to go all native, you obviously can with Blazor mobile bindings. That's the whole promise. But if you did not want to go native, you can just roll with the hybrid app. And so this whole thing is hybrid. Okay. But here's the thing, like the way they are bringing in this hybrid app, like this is... Like they're putting it into a stack layout. Oh, thank you for the follow, appreciate. This is inject. Okay, so they're injecting the counter state component, and so could you do without the native part whatsoever? Like the moment you do a content view and a stack layout, you're in Xamarin land. You're doing native Xamarin, and as you saw, like in the app CS, like. No, not the app CS. In the app delegate on in iOS, we are clearly initializing Xamarin Forms. So good test might be, what would happen if I like take that out entirely? Could I just roll with the hybrid stuff? I don't know. But clearly what they're doing here is they're doing a hello world and welcome you. That's the survey prompt command. And let's look at the counter. What are they doing with the counter? So the counter state, this is kind of getting a little like F#-ish almost, because they're keeping the state as an immutable thing, maybe that's being shared across, or maybe they're doing the singleton thing, right? So it's one instance of that. I don't understand some of the syntax, like implements iDisposable. What does, like, the counter razor implements iDisposable? Okay. Current count is the counter state.current count, and they have a button which on click is going to increment the count. And where is that coming from? Increment count, that probably is a method. And on initialize, state changed is listening to state changed plus and minus, so dispose and on initialized are listening. Dan is saying, I don't think the hybrid app will work without forms. Yes, and wasn't the whole goal of doing hybrid going fully hybrid? If you look at main Razor again, you'll notice that it does require a Blazor web view. Exactly, yes. So like this thing is using, so here, let me go back to Xamarin Forms, okay? Forms controls. Pages, layouts, views. So what they're doing is bringing in the web view. Where is that? Web view, okay? Web view displays web content. So is this Blazor web view? Well, we can take a look and see where that is coming from. Is it rendering the same web view? It says it's the Blazor web view. What is Blazor about this? Can I navigate? No, not very easily. Okay, I don't know. Like, is this Blazor web view the new web view that we are supposed to use? Like to host like a Blazor app without Node.js? Yeah, see, this is the web view, so it probably isn't the same web view as like what we used to in Xamarin Forms. Yeah, so this one very much depends on Xamarin Forms to even get started. But once you are on, like if I take this thing out, then all you're using Xamarin Forms is to load up the content view, load up the stack layout and the web view, and then inside of it, everything is going to be web. Yeah, Dan is saying, I'm pretty sure that the Blazor web view just has the custom configurations to locally host, run, and connect a SignalR hub. Oh. You think this is the server-side Blazor? Because I thought that they were trying to do the web view to keep it self-hosted on the client side, and that way we can have desktop apps that don't need to be connected to the server all the time. Freestyle Coder, hey, good to see you. What are we working on? I'm not working on anything fun. I'm just tinkering because I'm dumb, and I'm intrigued because this is hybrid apps for mobile and desktop with Blazor, and by the looks of it. Thank you for the follow, and Dan is saying the server in this case would be the client side. Oh. Okay, I see what you're saying. Like when you start up a Blazor project, you get to have like a Blazor hosted, or you can have Blazor completely client side if you're doing WebAssembly. So this is not doing WebAssembly. This is just using the Blazor syntax to put stuff into a web view. Okay, so counter razor, and where is this getting from? Let me go back. Counter state. Oh, it has the increment count method right here, so it increments the current count. State changed is invoked. Tinker, learning or figuring out stuff works is fun. Yes. So this is my actually first try doing this. I want to tinker with it a whole lot more. If folks, if you're just joining me, this is what I'm doing. So go look up Blazor mobile bindings, and you're going to find these hybrid app scenarios, and they kind of walk you through. This is the hybrid. Oh, they explain exactly like what is what. App.cs is the entry point. Yes, we saw that. And there, right there, is what they're doing. And then counter state is a service. And they have shared main layouts and Razor views and static assets and index HTML. Okay. Dan is saying, I don't know if it's actually using SignalR, but it still is to run within the web view, but there's technical challenges that you'll get from both Apple to do so within your app sandbox. Yes, yes, yes. Yeah, so essentially what Dan is referring to, hang on. So what Dan is saying, like Apple and Google, well, maybe not as much Google, but they have taken exceptions to folks putting a web view inside of their apps and just having that update on the fly without updating the app. And I mean, it's a gray area on some accounts. So I don't know. I mean we can fire up something like Fiddler or DevTools to see if it's doing anything. But like when it's running inside of a mobile app, like it's got no server. It's all running all inside. So I don't know if it needs a SignalR hub to maintain something, but it probably is not WASM then at this point. Okay, so this makes a little more sense now. The fetching the data, this is pretty much, I think, standard stuff that they do for the web as well. Oh, and I didn't realize how they were doing. No, hang on. In the main Razor, like Blazor hybrid hello world. Who is naming this web UI, or is it maybe by convention? Yeah, maybe. So you see that like the project is called Blazor hybrid hello world, right? And then within that we have web UI, and then within that is app, which I think by convention points to indexed Razor. I don't know, but seems likely. And then it goes to counter Razor. But what is, so this main layout is giving you the structure of the web side of things. Okay, freestyle coder. Once you get to the point of where you recognize what the server just equals process or thread, the mindset becomes easier to wrap around. Yes, yes, yes. Dan is saying the really amusing part is that they get pissed when they do your thing, when they're totally okay with the PWA concept. I don't know if they're totally okay with PWAs. Like Apple has been dragging their feet a little bit in terms of Safari support, because it kind of, like, if you think about it, it goes directly against their monetary model of having apps in the App Store. So while they're grudgingly supporting PWAs, it's just not something I think they want to invest heavily into. Okay, so this is the shell, and then you have the nav. Okay, so the counter here points to, how does it know to pull up that particular component? And this is the survey prompt, which is also a component. It's nice to be able to just use the survey prompt like that. See right here, that's a component. This kind of looks very much like a React component, but it's a Razor component. This is what the Blazor folks really love, because it's just everything is a component. It's got the title, it's got that link, and it's got a little bit of code. Home counter fetch data. I think this is also by convention, because it's right here. It's the href. So take a look at this, like how nicely this is done. So in the nav, or like on the web section here, what I'm talking about is, hang on, let me come back. This is slick. So on this side, like with the hamburger menu, this home, counter, and fetch data, they're just all links, right? It's just called counter and fetch data, and by default it knows to go to those corresponding pages and get it. Counter and fetch data, and index.razor is the home. Yeah, okay. So this explains a few things. Okay, now I'm actually interested here. So they're doing that Xamarin Informs thing for mobile. What are they doing with Mac? Let's take a look. Mac app delegate. Oh, you see that? Okay, they're calling this hybrid, but they're heavily dependent on Xamarin Forms here everywhere. This is exactly what we do when we have to paint Xamarin Forms on a Mac. You just pick up a NS window and you paint it, and somewhere down here you just say xamarinforms.init, and that's it. So this is just a Xamarin Forms app essentially running inside of a Mac, and looks like they had to do the menu separately. Yeah, because like unlike on the Blazor hybrid, like when we looked at hang on, where's the, this is the Razor part, this is the mobile part of it, right? And this stack layout, these button things, they all work for Xamarin Forms. They don't work on a Mac maybe. So they're using a Mac menu, NS menu, and they're saying, give me a menu bar, add a separator, and yeah, whatever. And I'm guessing there's nothing else to this Mac project. Packages, yeah, same. Blazor mobile bindings. Oh, look at that, WebView macOS. That's like a separate package. Yeah, so this is all Xamarin Forms. This is all Xamarin Forms. Do they say this? I mean, this is not. I mean, you can load up anything in the hybrid app, but this is very much Xamarin Forms. Which makes this a hybrid app. Okay, so everything in the web view makes this a hybrid app. Yeah. I don't know. I think we just need to tinker around more. 10:47 is my time. I got probably about 7 or 8 minutes before I had to hop on to the other stream. Which again, folks, if you are here at 11, we're going to have two of my good friends, Ed and Lissa, hop on, and they'll start a different stream where we're going to talk about SignalR, which is, again, we talked a little bit about SignalR. That's kind of how the Blazor hosted model, the Blazor server-side works. It is based on SignalR. It maintains the shadow DOM with the client side, and it updates things from the server. But they're actually building a SignalR app over this whole week, and I'm going to show some more SignalR on mobile and desktop, like not through Blazor Hybrid, but just plain SignalR. So that should be a lot of fun. So that's coming up in 12 minutes. So I'll probably hop off probably another 5 minutes and then join back with them. Okay, so here's what I like and I don't like. I like that the template by default gives you all of these projects, right? So you have iOS, you have Android, you have Mac, and you have Windows. Is the Windows one UWP or what is it? Oh, it's WPF. I bet. Now I wish I did not blow away the Windows project. Maybe I still have it. Hang on. It's got to be in my trash somewhere, or no, I deleted them from disk. Oh crap, so I can't get it back. Here's what I bet. The WPF side, I'm guessing they're using the WPF renderers for Xamarin Forms, which again, like you can render Xamarin Forms on WPF. So I think that's what they're using to get you the shell, the stack layout, and the view, which is your container control, and then within that you can stick in the Blazor web view, which does all of the hybrid stuff. So yeah, this Blazor web view is new, and I don't know how this is different. What else can we look up on this Blazor web view? I'm probably not going to be able to get a whole lot more done, but maybe next week we start from exactly where we left off here and we tinker more and we try to get this to be almost as close to a hybrid app as we can. Oh, VS. Yeah, this is just an article on. Oh, see, they call it right here. That's native. That's web UI. So, so who was asking? Billy? No, Dull Owl. So it is running on .NET Core 3.1 actually. But they have to depend on Mono, because Xamarin Forms runs on Mono. Yeah. Now, this may be interesting. So, is the WinUI team... Oh, look at that. There you go. So I think the WinUI team may also be looking into this web view. Oh, this is Thomas Claudius Hoover. We know him. He's a fellow MVP, very dedicated Windows developer. He's, I think, out of Germany. I've met him a couple of times. Very down-to-earth, very cool guy. WinUI has developed the goal, blah, blah, blah. That's WinUI text box. Okay, so WebView 2. And you can do JavaScript interrupt if you're doing WinUI. So I bet that this is actually the newer web view that they're all using now. See, like WebView 2. So this is I think it's based on Edge, maybe, which is like it's the what's the JavaScript model for Chrome? I think it's called Chrome or V8, right? So it's the same JavaScript engine, but it's as thin of a web view as you can get. Yeah. Okay, so I need to explore more, essentially, and this was a good starting point. So why don't I maybe start with this app next week and tinker more and see where we can get. I cleaned it up so it's just iOS and Mac, and we'll see how much we can not use Xamarin Forms if we are to build a truly hybrid app. Looks like it's just using it to stick in the web view, which we'll see if we can do it in any other way. Okay, and so folks in the chat room, thank you for hanging out with me. I appreciate it. I was just tinkering. I was curious. I saw some of the docs here, so I was curious. So again, if you want to do some of this yourself, just do a search on Blazor mobile bindings and start from where I started. Okay, so I got 8 minutes before I have to hop on to the other stream, so I'm going to stop here. I will not do a raid with somebody else because again it's no point for 8 minutes. So folks, if you're here, just go get yourself a cup of coffee or a drink or some food, whatever your whatever your heart calls out for, and join us back in like 8 minutes, okay? And we'll do SignalR for web and mobile and desktop, and I'll have Ed and Lisa to join. So it'll be a lot of fun. Okay, so thank you chat room, thank you so much, freestyle coder Dan, I love you, you all know that. So thanks for hanging out with me as I tinker. So hope you have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you on the next stream. Okay, bye bye.